Good evening, ladies and gents.
Welcome back to the CWP, or for those that are new, the Cold War podcast.
Today we have some truly hot topics that we've been asked to discuss and compare by a few viewers. We have a movie accompanied with two novels that depict some of the issues and concerns of the time period.
One of the novels, The Spy Came In From the Cold, by John le Carre, deals with the realism of spy warfare, whilst the second novel, Live and Let Die, is a bit lighter, however it does not detract from its relevance.
This week's movie is North by Northwest. The film, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, deals with the Cold War concerns within America.
For those unlucky souls that haven't seen the movie, it's a tale of mistaken identity. Roger Thornhill, an innocent man, is pursued across the US by agents of a mysterious organisation.
The film was often referred to when studying the Cold War, as it highlights many elements and concerns of the time period.
Very true. Spy warfare and the power of the world's hegemons are particularly conveyed. The first scene from North by Northwest that we'll be discussing is a scene in which members of an unknown American government organisation are deciding on Thornhill's fate. They realise that Thornhill has been mistaken for Kaplan, but they decide against rescuing him for fear of compromising their operation. Kaplan is a non-existent agent they created for a plan to thwart Phil and Van Damme. In this scene, the members of the American government organisation are deciding Thornhill's fate. A high-angle shot is used to represent them as gods. This is because they are toying with a man's life like they are superior beings. The high-angle shot is a staple of Hitchcock's in his films, and he uses it to perfection. Furthermore, Hitchcock strategically places a miniature wooden sculpture of George Washington in the middle of a cabinet in the background to continue the motif of sculptures throughout the film. The antique that houses the clandestine copy of confidential government secrets and the Mount Rushmore scene, along with the miniature sculpture, assist in the ideas of portraying something idealistic and perfect in the background. However, in the foreground of the scene, the very opposite is going on.
Great point.
Our first book, Live and Let Die by Ian Fleming, highlights the danger of espionage whilst clearly illustrating its necessity and a step towards a harmonious world. The scene where James Bond, the protagonist, is being briefed about the main antagonist, Mr. Big, the people working for the American government, give the reader an insight into its dangers in taking down Mr. Big and all of his alliances. I think this is interesting, as North by Northwest glorifies espionage with pretty women and a saving the day kind of moments, whereas Live and Let Die shines a different, darker light on it. He was just the man for Smirch, with just the right training. A real hard weapon of fear and death. The metaphor in this quote reveals one of the reasons the American government wants to take him down. This relates back to how this novel highlights that espionage is perceived when you're on the right side of it, but when it's being used against you, it can be perceived as the opposite.
Yeah, I find it interesting how those two perspectives from either side of espionage scheme really reveal the way it plays off in people's minds from different sides. During the Cold War, America had these very concerns, and the movie successfully highlights these. Funnily enough, North by Northwest closely links with one of our novels, The Spy Came In From the Cold, written by John le Carre. Although le Carre exposes the nitty-gritty of spy warfare, the ideas of hegemonic powers are successfully depicted. Le Carre depicts his idea as he works within control, or as ironically refers to it, the circus, fulfilling their dirty work. Furthermore, within page 350, Peter, the protagonist, questions himself and ponders on the fact that his actions and wrongdoings are all in the name of world peace, a greater cause, a hegemonic power. As stated before, le Carre exposes the nitty-gritty of spy warfare, whereas North by Northwest almost glorifies it. As the protagonist is tasked with killing another agent before retiring, quickly followed by his life falling apart, we see past the girls and glamour of espionage and look deeper into a spy's life. As he reflects on the war and believes that this is war, it's graphic and unpleasant because it's fought on a tiny scale, at close range, fought with the wastage of life, with a wastage of innocent lives. Enjayment is used here to highlight the constant conflict that is Cold War, whether direct or not. This quote is particularly powerful in also displaying the futility of war as it demonstrates the wastage of life.
Very true.
Hegemons of power are successfully displayed within North by Northwest as Thornhill grapples Eve over Mount Rushmore. In this scene, he has to choose whether he values their future together or rather the secrets and safety of his country. This scene highlights a very recurring theme throughout the movie, that there is a higher power, there is a bigger fish. Hitchcock uses his famous high-angle shot to illustrate power and showcase the hierarchy regarding the villains as seen through Hitchcock's various interactions with Van Damme. Unlike our novels, the movie highlights concerns of the Cold War era within America and only touches on the real danger that was present in those times.
Overall, the ways in which each composer portrays the tactic of espionage in the Cold War era are all different in their own ways, but all reveal to us in today's society what it was like living in this time period. North by Northwest places a sort of glamour on spy warfare, luring the audience into an action-packed and far-fetched plot. Live and Let Die shines a different colour light on the topic, revealing the dangers of the missions the spies were tasked. And finally, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold reveals the nitty-gritty of espionage, as well as the dirty tactics of the era. Through this, we see the impacts it has on ordinary people in this time period.
That's all we have for today. We hope you enjoyed these comparisons and perspectives.
CWP out.